Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Arch with Imran. I'm Imran. I hope you guys are having a great day. And today I'm joined with Mia. Mia is currently a freelance interior designer in
Copenhagen.
Copenhagen. So, how are you doing first?
I'm great. Thank you so much for inviting to your channel. It's a pleasure.
It's all right. So, first we're just going to jump straight into it. What is your kind of background? How did you get into what you're doing? And what makes you the person you are?
Yeah, definitely. So my name is Mia, and I am currently a freelance interior designer in Copenhagen. I'm originally from Japan, but I'm half Danish. So my high school, I grew up in Tokyo, but in my high school, I moved to Denmark. And then I kind of didn't like Denmark, so I moved to UK, stayed there for 8 years. But that's where I studied BA interior design for 4 years, including foundation year. And then after I've graduated interior design, I had a junior designer role in London in a workplace design office. And then after 1 year, COVID happened. So almost all the designers got redundant from my studio, and I was one of them. And I was trying to look for another job, but everything just seemed to be slowing down in London, but everywhere else as well. I think I was stuck at home for like almost 10 months total.
Okay.
And then the last few months, I was trying to apply a lot of places, and basically because my family is based in Denmark, I took an opportunity to apply for Big at that time, and I saw an ad saying they were looking for interior designer, which they usually don't do. They usually look for architect background. And Big was always one of my idol throughout my student life. So I applied, and then after 3 months, luckily I had an opportunity for interview, and then somehow I got in. And that's my most recent position actually, which started this year in February. So I was still based in London at that time when I got the offer, but then I moved to Denmark just for working for BIG in Copenhagen office.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm going to stop you there.
Yeah.
So Rick, because I want to go through it all. You've said a lot. So
Oh, okay.
So before you got to Big, what were the qualifications you held in total?
Just one.
So and that was
interior design.
BA interior design. Okay. And then so when you were in Copenhagen, you saw an application for Big and you applied.
Yeah.
So can you describe how the application process was? What kind of stuff did you submit? Did you require a portfolio? What's your portfolio like?
Yeah, so you basically have to submit an application through their website. They don't accept any email application or like a private application, so everybody has to go through this online website, and they tell you that you need to fill in all your information and at least I think 5 images of your most proud work that describes your skills.
Okay. And
a full package of your portfolio that doesn't exceed like a certain amount of file size. And then cover letter and your CV.
Okay.
So that's everything that you need to apply.
So just to let you guys know, Mia has done a tutorial on how to make a good portfolio. I'll leave the link in the description. Go check out her YouTube channel. I really recommend it. It's quite informative and it seems really interesting. So after you've done all of that, what were your general experiences working at Big? Because I think it's something that a lot of people are interested in, but it's something that very few get to experience. So what was your experience working there?
I think it's a quite unique one coming from my experience, because I joined as an interior designer, and as I said, the company itself is based as an architecture firm, obviously. And when I got hired, they were looking to expand the interior design team in Copenhagen, which is only based in New York at the moment.
Okay.
In their New York office. So I got a chance to work in a team in Copenhagen as a startup for interior design group.
Okay.
So that was the first thing that nobody expected, I guess, in Copenhagen office as well. After entering, so I think I have built up this quite an ideal scenario for me over the few years while I studied interior design. And because I'm half Danish, as I said, and BIG is Danish company, I had some kind of like attachment to like, oh, it would be cool if I could join BIG, as you know, it could be really nice to refer to my background and so on. So I always had a passion to apply there. And I think once I got in, the most shocking thing for me, I think that's the most like topic that I want to talk about, because you think once you get in, you kind of imagine how interns or like assistants or like how you are working kind of scenario. But once you get in, the working hours and I don't know,
quite
like,
intensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's just something that I didn't imagine at all. I thought that would stay just in our student life, and once we go out to the real practical industry, I thought it was more organized or kind of maintained in a realistic way. But it wasn't like that. So I was quite working like 7 days a week. So weekend you had to go to the office, and yeah, that was the most shocking thing.
Wow, so it's a lot of hours. So roughly how many hours a week did you work?
So my contract said it's 45 hours.
Oh wow, okay.
But you need to submit your like an hour every day and like tell the office like how many hours you've worked or you've been in the office. And my hours would easily go up to like 70 and plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And do you think that's just the nature of working in that environment, or do you think that's because you're an intern? Do you think the higher up you get, you kind of lower your hours, or do you think that's the be all and end all of your hours? You're always going to work very hard.
I think intern would take the hours most.
Okay.
So interns and assistant would just stay constantly. And I think that's the nature of architecture industry in general. And as the position goes up, so I was working with a senior architect. And I think when we had the deadlines, she would also stay with us quite late, even though she had a family. And yeah, I think that's just the nature of our deadline. And 100%. We have to put a lot of effort to submit what we want to, you know, submit to the client. But I think it becomes a problem when there's a lot of deadlines constantly, that there's no balance, I think. Yeah.
So you find it's more work. So you spoke about the deadlines. Are you allowed to tell me about some of the projects you've worked on? What was the kind of things you did like? How was the experience? And you know, what was it like, the actual projects you worked on? Are you allowed to talk about them?
I think so.
No? Okay, that's fair enough. And are they projects that are finished, or are they still in the process?
They're still in the process.
Okay, so it's okay. Wow. Okay, so one thing I did want to talk about was, so you've talked about your experiences. It's really interesting. One thing I am interested in is, what is the kind of softwares you used, and you know, what is all of the software? How do you design? Is it a lot of hand drawn?
Basically, the company BIG uses a lot of software like Rhino, Grasshopper, and you know, the modeling tools like 3ds Max. And I had no experience in that actually when I applied. And so I think that's one tip or like advice that I want to give it to the students, that, you know, I don't think software skills is necessary to be hired, as long as you can, you know, show your skills and like creativity in your own way. Obviously, like your drawings and the style and the graphics needs to be polished, whatever software you use. But I think the reason why I got in was that I had a project that was complete, even though I wasn't using Rhino or like the model skills, modeling, 3D modeling skills. And a lot of my stuff from my portfolio were photoshopped actually. to create the visuals. So I guess, yeah, like if you're applying for like the big companies, I don't think the softwares that they require is absolutely necessary sometimes, that what it says on the website.
So my channel is quite software based. I do a lot of tutorials, and I always stress it's important to have a knowledge of them. It's important to have those skills, but it really isn't necessary. I think hand drawing and being able to show those key skills is the most important. Yeah. So you've spoken about the software now. We've also spoke about your portfolio. Would you be willing to show me a few images that I can put on the screen as we talk? So can you explain the kind of projects that you submitted in your portfolio? Were they projects you did in university, or were they things you've done, or were they competitions, or what was the kind of work you submitted like? And I'll put on some photos as we talk.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. Actually, so I, like, in my personal opinion, I think the most project that helped me get into BIG was the competition work. So in my portfolio, I had a project from my major project, my last year uni. And then I've done some competition work after I've graduated with my design partner, which was more architectural. So all of my previous work, or like the portfolio project that I had in my portfolio, was interior design based. And the one project that I did for competition was like a sustainable apartment in Hong Kong. So me and my design partner worked on developing the whole apartment scheme. And we actually kind of made it really similar to the graphic styles and the presentation styles to BIG.
Okay. Do you think that was important in your admission? Do you think
yeah, definitely, okay. Definitely.
So, really so you think you should tailor your portfolio and the work for the place you're applying to?
Yeah, I think that's really important. And you should research what kind of styles they're looking for, and the way they present, and the graphics, and the typology, and the project, scene. And then have that ready in your portfolio that's similar to what they're doing. I think that's one key thing for them to hire you. Okay, and
one last thing I do want to ask about. What would you recommend for someone that wants to go in your steps? What advice would you give? If you were giving advice to a former self, what would you say? And what would you tell yourself to do before applying, etc.?
I think talking to like a current student, I would really think about where you want to apply and what kind of industry, what kind of company, studio that you want to apply when you're working on your project. Because I had to redo everything to kind of apply to certain places to make it look like it's their project, or like that they want to hire me. So knowing their style while you're a student really helps, managing your time and redoing all of your work after you graduate. And then you'll be like one step ahead, basically, because you have that done already while you are completing your portfolio when you're a student.
Okay. So I asked this to a lot of people. Do you think it is important to go back and redo previous works you've done?
Like the portfolio is absolutely ongoing thing. So I still keep updating my like major project, for example, and just keep working on, let's say I didn't design certain part, or like my visuals could be improved, or like remake the whole project in your own way.
Redesign. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's been a really interesting conversation. So we're getting to the end of the interview. Give me a few words. How would you describe your overall experience of BIG, and how would you describe it very briefly?
In 3 words?
3 words.
Adventurous.
Okay.
Taking risks. And just be confident.
Okay, great. You know what? This conversation's been really interesting. I want to speak to you guys. If you would like to see more of Mia on this channel, please let me know. We're looking at going to do a collab on her channel. What was it? We're going to look at different softwares or something like that.
Yeah, you might be helping my portfolio to jazz up a little bit.
Okay. So guys, please go make sure you check out Mia's channel. I'll leave a tag at the end of the video, and I'll leave the link in the description. We're going to go do a video for her channel, so please go check that out. And it's been really nice talking to you. I found it really interesting because something like Big is something that a lot of us see. We understand the name, but we like, there's very little knowledge of what it's like working there. And I think it's really interesting hearing your viewpoint, because it's something that people don't get to hear about. So I would love to talk to you again in the future. Talk about different experiences. Maybe you can tell us about some projects when you're allowed to.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Okay. Anyway,
looking
guys,
forward to it.
hopefully you found this video informative. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment if you have any questions. If you have any questions for Mia, feel free to leave them. I'm sure we'll get around to them. Thank you for coming on my channel, and I look forward to being on yours.
Thank you, and see you
Cheers
next
for coming.
time.